What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. We have some news from SIG Ammunition. There's a recall on 9mm 115 grain ammo, the SIG Elite ammo. It usually comes in packs that look kind of like this. Sorry, there's some stickers on there. There's 10mm version right there, so you know the colors. So I'm looking at an article here, and I'm looking at gunsinthenews.com, so I'm going to spare you putting any of their stuff up on the screen because it's nothing but advertisements. That site is horrible, but every now and then I do get some news from there. So, sorry my face is still a little bit screwed up, and I'm going to have to read this to you, so sorry I'm slurring my words just a little bit, but Sig Sauer has determined that portions of lot number JDAR0815 of SIG 9mm 115 grain elite ball full metal jacket loads may have a powder charge variation that could result in a bullet remaining in the barrel. A squib load is what they're saying. Owners of that ammunition with lot number blah 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 need to discontinue its use immediately and visit the special webpage to arrange for its return to the company and receive a free rebate of the ammunition. So they go on to tell you what will happen if you fire it. It says, firing a subsequent bullet into a bore obstruction could cause firearm damage, rendering the firearm inoperable and subjecting the shooter and bystanders to a risk of serious personal injury. Ammunition from this lot should be removed from use immediately and carefully segregated from all other ammunition until it can be returned to Sig Sauer. They go on to say that it's only that lot, and that they say there's a number for you to call, and once you send it to them within 15 business days, they're going to give you a refund. I don't need to read the whole rest of it to you. So the bottom line is the 9mm version of this SIG Elite stuff with that particular lot number can produce a squib load. So that's information you need to know, and not trying to throw SIG out there, but I'm going to throw SIG out there. Now here's something I find kind of interesting. If you go to the SIG website, this doesn't immediately come up. This isn't front page news for their website. Them describing their elite ammunition and how good it is, that's their front page news for their website. You actually have to dig pretty deep to get to the recall, and I think that's kind of weird. It's in the news, it's been shown to us in articles online, people know about it, but it's not front page news on SIG's own website. That's kind of crappy, SIG. This says Elite on the box. Elite Performance. Elite Performance ammunition. So anytime you attach the word elite to something and then you put a little bit of an elite price tag, which this says $29. Now for 10mm, this was back before the crap hit the fan with the ammo, and all other 10mm was pretty much like this stuff. You could get this for as cheap as $18 online. I would find it in stores for about 20 or 21 for the S&B 10mm. I bought a box of this because it was elite and I just wanted to test it out. So I do actually have one of those rounds that I use as a comparison bullet for when I'm making ammunition, and I'm making my own 10mm. So it's kind of funny that I use this elite ammunition. I use that to compare my hand loads to. So that leads me into the next thing. So hand loading. This is the Theturkeysopinion brand of ammo here. This is my stuff. You can't buy this in stores. You can't buy this anywhere. This is only for me. But the bottom line is, I make these bullets. So these here are some green tipped, little green monsters. Here are some full metal jackets. But I make them. And everybody wants to knock on the hand loader. But here's a perfect example of why the hand loader is not always wrong or stupid or producing bad quality ammo and all the other things that get associated with hand loaders. So I have pretty tight quality control over this ammo. My eyeballs see it. I use something called a powder cop, and it's this little device, for those of you who don't know, and when you are using a progressive machine and it's going from station to station, you pull down the handle and everything in that machine does something to each station. So 6 stations, 6 different things are going on, and you got to keep an eye on your powder that drops down, and you really need to visually check it. Well, there's a device called a powder cop, and it sends a little pin down in there, and you set a rubber band type thing, an O-ring, and it shows you so you don't have to look down in the case. Well, I use that to look to make sure, and I just have this thing about me, I have to look in the case. So even though I'm watching the powder cop out of the corner of my eye because I'm watching the other operations, that'll be the first thing that would catch me. But I also, as I seek the bullet, I visually look forward and I make sure there's the proper amount, at least visually, of gunpowder down in that thing. There's a light that I have, a little LED that allows me to look down into the case, and then I set the bullet in there. I'll never set a bullet on an empty case. I've caught them before that have made it through my peripheral on the powder cop, and before I seat the bullet, nope, it's a no-go. And for some reason the machine choked as it was supposed to drop a charge. So hand loading can be, pretty precise if you're going to watch it. Now, SIG, they have really expensive machines. They have $1 million machines that they run this ammo on, and it's got lasers, and it's got scanners, and it's got cameras that are really smart, and they can watch things and look at things, and it's supposed to catch all of these bad things that could happen. Well, obviously with this lot, and this lot goes on, let me see if I can look. It says the ammunition affected in this recall was manufactured from April 8th to April 18th. That's a pretty long stretch right there. that ammo was possibly making, or that machine was possibly making squib loads going down the line, and nobody in the elite department caught that. That's kind of weird that would be, that's 10 days. So 10 days went by of ammunition production and nobody knew that there was something possibly wrong with that line. That's an awful lot of ammunition that got made, I guarantee you that. I would never make that amount of ammunition by hand without visually checking and knowing, what's going on. Every round I make, I check. So don't beat up on the hand loaders so much. Sometimes we have things going on for us that obviously computers, lasers, scanners, cameras, whatever, didn't catch. And there was not a human eye involved, obviously, if these things were happening. Something went wrong. Now, maybe it was just one squib load that got proven to come out of here, but I highly doubt that one would create a recall of all the ammunition. I think that they found a significant chunk to be probably compromised. So that's all I have for you. A little bit of news, safety recall that you need to know about, and also a little bit of, hey, don't beat up on the hand loaders because we pay attention to our ammo, and squib loads or any kind of a double charge or anything else like that, that can happen to any of us. It can come from the factory or it can come from someone doing it at home. But as long as you stay diligent when you're loading and you're not under the influence of weird substances or alcohols, and as long as you really watch the book and make sure you know your grain weights and your powder charges and which powder charge you're using, everything should go pretty good. It's generally pretty safe. And if you want to, you can choose powders that don't allow you to ever overcharge, because what will happen is that you'll just overflow the case. It's that you get big bulky powders, the opposite of tight group. Tight group is one that will save you a lot of money, but you got to be careful because it only takes a little bit. So people will always knock on tight group because you can almost triple charge some cartridges. Like a 45, you can triple charge with tight group. So you do have to be careful, but use the eyeball. That's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope this might be helpful. Hope you learned something. Until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting. Not squib loads.